To respond to such blatant acts of aggression and violence in the manner as deemed appropriate by us. We reserve the right to respond to any act of the adversary at the time and place of our own choosing.
Are you watching Current Issues? My name is Vineet Malhotra. According to our sources, Prime Minister Modi has given a go-ahead to diplomatically isolate Pakistan at all international fora to shape the government response to Uri terror attack. International bodies will be presented with evidence of Pakistan-sponsored terrorism. India was already planning at the United Nations Human Rights Council to raise the issues of atrocities of human rights violation of Balochistan, and now with this terror strike in Uri where 18 soldiers are martyred and many others are still injured. The DGMO is very clear that there is concrete proof against Pakistan's involvement in Uri. There are imprints of terror on the weapons that have been seized from the terrorists who were killed in this encounter. So is the government going to boycott Pakistan in Islamabad SAARC summit, or is it going to make a case against Pakistan? There are also questions that are being asked by the opposition. Did these terrorists have prior intelligence about one unit transferring the other unit? How did they know at this moment that this was going to happen or not? Why these soldiers were in tents which were so unprotected? Why were they not in more fortified buildings? Let's get into this debate. Let me also have the pleasure now to introduce our guests who are with me in the studios and will be joining us from other places as well. Former diplomat Mr. Ashok Sajjanhar is with me in the studio. Sir, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Brigadier Amrit Kapoor, who's a defense expert, is also with me in the studio. Sir, thank you for being with us. Zafar Syed, spokesperson for the Congress, for the BJP, is with us, and Shama Mohammed, spokesperson for the Congress Party, is also joining us. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Mr. Sajjanhar, let's start with you. Now, these attacks definitely are going to be denied by Pakistan. India, at an international level, has to be aggressive, more aggressive than it has been in the past. What should we do differently this time to actually make Pakistan feel isolated? We have used this term before a lot of times, that isolate Pakistan, ostracize them, embarrass them internationally. But what can we do creatively? It's time to actually think out of the box and do something which Pakistan will notice.
Well, you are absolutely right. This has happened before. You know, just to give you an example, at the G20 summit, the Prime Minister was there. In his address at the plenary, he said that there should be all those countries which are providing sanctuaries and supporting terrorists, they should be isolated, they should be sanctioned, they should not be rewarded. In all his bilateral meetings also, he made the same pitch. When he went to the East Asia summit in Laos, in Vientiane, he had the same thing to say. So I think at the global level, we have been saying all these things. But right now, I think in terms of the intensity and the energy with which we are going to take it up, I think that will be a difference. But having said that, I think it is not, we also need to recognize and realize how much of impact is this going to have. Are the Chinese, you know, as far as we are concerned, when we went to the United Nations Security Council and said that Masood Azhar should be designated as a terrorist under the United Nations, before that Zakir Rahman Lakhvi also to be designated, China came and stood in front of this decision, saying, putting a technical hold on it and protecting its client state, that is Pakistan.
That's Pakistan.
So I think we might sort of, you know, present all the evidence, but how much further are we really going to be able to make progress in this? That is a very moot point, that is a very debatable point. I think what we really need to do is, as the government has been saying since the time it came into office, we and the country also wants it, the country also demands it.
Absolutely.
That there should be some visible, perceptible, concrete action on ground.
Absolutely.
And I think this is what the government will need to come forward with.
And Zafar Syed, you know, coming to you, sir, you know, 60 to 65% of the population of our country feels that there should be an affirmative plan of action against Pakistan, either militarily or in some other aggressive way. But sir, we are yet to see a chalked out plan of action from the government, sir. Your response to that? What are we waiting for?
Vineet, this kind of plan cannot be discussed in the studio. I'm sure that the government of India is working towards it. The concerned ministry is working on it. But as the former diplomat was speaking about it, how to isolate Pakistan is something which we are going to aggressively pursue with the global community. We have already initiated the process. We have spoken with every single country, with their diplomat based in India, and their counterparts are diplomat based in their country, and we have spoken to them, and they have condemned this terrorist attack as well. So there is the perception about Pakistan, what was there 2.5 years ago and what is today, is very different, because two things we have been able to do, and that's why we will be able to get global support support from the global community. One, that as soon as the government was formed and the Honorable Prime Minister had extended the hands of friendship, and he had shown lots of very, very kind gesture towards Pakistan, but they didn't respond kindness with kindness, friendliness with friendliness, and instead they attacked in Pathankot, they attacked in our base in Uri. Obviously, the global community has realized that Pakistan is a rogue country and Pakistan needs to be isolated. Simultaneously, the Honorable Prime Minister also raised the issue of Balochistan. The people of India and the people outside Pakistan was not even aware that what is the kind of atrocities being committed on Balochistan by the Pakistani army, until Honorable Prime Minister spoke about it on 15th of August from Red Fort. The whole of global community now realized that the kind of atrocity and the human rights violation have been committed by Pakistani army in Balochistan. 5,000 people have been killed, more than 20,000 people have been untraceable. So these things were going to get intensified further by the government of India at every platform available. And if you can see that last 3-4 days, the kind of condemnation has come, and the degree of the language the global community has used, it shows that they have realized that Pakistan is a terror hub, and Pakistan is actually exporting terrorism in India. Away from that, government of what other action needs to be taken, that flexibility has been given to army, and the DGMO has already stated, and you had shown that clip, that when and where, what kind of action they will take is something that need not be spelled out in the studio or the TV debate, but something which should remain privy to only the people who are concerned and the people who will be actually going to take action.
Okay, Shama Mohammed, the spokesperson for the Congress Party, coming to you. Shama, if you could answer this question vicariously for me, if you were to advise the BJP on the state of affairs with Pakistan, would it be right to say that if your party, if it were in power, though it's a long shot, would it actually be advisable for you to tell the BJP that every phase of diplomacy with Pakistan stands cancelled, it's over? Would you endorse that theory? Would you endorse that stance?
First, I want to correct Mr. Zafar Islam about Balochistan. In 2008, Mr. Manmohan Singh had raised this issue, so it was nothing new what Mr. Modi has raised now. He repeats everything what we have done.
Shama, we don't want to get into political bickering.
When we were having
Shama,
diplomatic
we do not
talks,
want to get into political bickering. We do not want to make this a case about
no,
BJP and the Congress.
I just wanted to correct.
I have asked you a question. I would want you to answer that question.
We don't want to, even I don't want to.
But okay, let's answer my question, Shama, and then we'll get to your point. First, answer my question. What do we do about Pakistan? What would the Congress Party do?
First of all, we are not. We don't need, the Congress Party need not answer right now. It's the government. The Prime Minister Modi has said there will be retribution. He has always told us that he is not going to talk to Pakistan. The UPA always talks to Pakistan, but Pakistan has to be given back in its own language. If one head of us is lost, I'm going to take 10 heads. We are giving biryani to Pakistani. So we would like to see an affirmative action from Prime Minister Modi. Pathankot, Udhampur, Gurdaspur, all this has happened. The worst is Pathankot. And in that incident, what happened was our soldiers have been killed, and we invite ISI, who is behind this, to investigate it. Never before in the history of India, ISI has been invited for investigating something which has happened on Indian soil. We would like Prime Minister Narendra Modi to walk the talk, which he's been talking a lot these days about we are going to give back to Pakistan. We are not going to talk to Pakistan. So yes, we are with the PM. We need an affirmative action against Pakistan.
Let me rope
we
in
need a concrete
Brigadier
policy
Kapoor into this
against
as well. Brigadier
Pakistan.
Kapoor, let me read out these names and I want your reaction on this.
Vinit, can I just
Hafiz Mohammed, Sajid Majid, Dawood Ibrahim, Sheikh Shakil, aka Chota Shakil, Masood Azhar, Zakirur Rahman Lakhwi, Rashid Abdullah and Ibrahim Athar. So these are the people that Pakistan is harboring. They are enjoying the facilities of a citizen in Pakistan and they are planning and executing and killing our soldiers from across the border. What should we do, sir? What should the government do?
We should have done long time back. I mean, like they have been hitting us in our underbelly. Now this time in Uri, they have come 20 kilometers inside and they have struck us from behind. And we have information about all these terrorists, what you have named now, and they should have been targeted by now. We have the capability, our RAW has the capability, but we have been sort of restricting ourselves from carrying out any proactive sort of activity, knowing fully well every time we have been getting that we are homing on to Dawood, we are homing on to so and so, but nothing has sort of has happened till date. So this is high time that we carry out some, eliminate some of them, and so that is only that will be able to tell Pakistan in their own language. They only understand one language, and we have to hit them where it hurts them most. To my mind, now the center of gravity of Pakistan is Punjab. And in case we have to carry out some activity, we should carry out in their Punjab. If we carry out in POK, I mean, there it's not going to have much sort of difference. Like Pakistan has abrogated Article 370 there, and they have got their ex-servicemen settled there. And there the demographic pattern has changed there in that part of the country. So, and next thing is that whatever in case we have to carry out, yes, this is not a forum to decide, but at the same time riposte has to be quick and fast, and we cannot delay so much of time. The moment you delay so much of time, it gets involved into, it gets converted into a conflict, and conflict may get converted into a war.
Absolutely.
So it is whatever we have to do, it should have been done instantaneously. I would like to reiterate here that we have all the contingency plans in army. We have very competent officers. General Huda is there, Northern Army Commander, GOC 19 Corps, Commander 12 Brigade. They are all very competent, and our plans are always ready. Only thing is we require a political go
Absolutely.
from them, and some action should have been done. Otherwise, if in case you are just want to isolate them, I know it has to be a multi-pronged approach, that you got to have sanctions, you got to have diplomatically isolate them. Those are, they don't understand. That country does not understand all these things.
Okay, Shama wants to come into that. Shama?
Amit, can I just come in? I want to ask
can
one
I
thing to the
just come
BJP
in?
is that, to the BJP spokesperson. Just 1 minute, 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. We knew there was intelligence failure in Pathankot. And we also knew, we had intelligence about this attack. So my question is, why was it not preempted? Why don't we work on intelligence? When we know that these attacks are happening, why don't we improve our intelligence and prevent something from happening, like the state of Israel does? Why do we always act after? When we have intelligence coming in, why was it not taken into consideration? Why do we act always later is my question. Who is
Okay, well, I'm not sure, but
responsibility here for
it's
this?
the right kind of an
It's a
equivalence
complete
to
operational and intelligence
compute
failure.
India with Israel. But you know, Zafar Syed is the
Shama-
expert on that, and sir, respond to that.
Shama Mohammed, stop preaching us. You had 6 decades to resolve
Where
this
is the
problem.
defense
You haven't
minister?
done anything. Stop preaching us. Today is not the no. Today is the day, not the day when we actually start talking about it. We have lost.
You should
18
don't forget
precious
Kalichuk
lives.
when 22
Today, let
people
me just complete.
died. What did you do after that?
Okay,
That
Shama,
is the
let-
biggest
Let's go
problem
back
with
then.
Congress.
Should I
Shama,
go
let
back
Mr.
to
Zafar
2003?
Syed respond to you. Shama, let Mr.
That was-
Zafar Syed respond to you. You've asked him a question.
just complete?
You have raised an
Okay,
allegation.
have some
Let him
patience.
respond to you. Mr. Zafar Syed, the stage is yours, sir.
Vinit, all I'm saying that today is not the date when we actually do tutu meme and we contradict each other. They had 6 decades, they haven't done. So today they should not preach something
We
which they
don't
haven't
want
done.
to do it.
Let me just
We don't
complete
want
that.
to do it.
We should stand united. No.
We don't want to do
Wait.
it.
No. Shama Mohammed, please. Shama Mohammed, will you please allow me
Vinit,
to
I want to come in after you
Shama,
finish.
let him
Please,
finish.
you need. You
I'll
have.
Shama, let him
point.
finish. Shama,
Okay, finish it.
let him finish.
Okay.
As two see the two other panelists, they are well informed people. They are part of one is a former diplomat, other is part of the army. He was a part of army. They understand the complication and the strategies needed for this kind of a action to be taken. One is diplomatic action, which has government of India has already initiated. If you see that what has been spoken by our honorable minister in New York and many other people, and all the diplomats have spoken to their counterpart in whichever country they are based. But the other action which you are advocating is something which I think is must understand is a neighbor. Pakistan is a neighbor. It's not another country which is far away from us. It's a neighboring country. You have to consider many other consideration before taking such call. I think as he rightly said, the former army officer, that we have a very competent army. They understand. And they have been given full flexibility, and DHMO has said that we have the permission. It's not a political go ahead is required. He wouldn't have made that statement had that not permission been there. But they should let them take a call when and where and what they need to be should be done.
Okay.
We should not advocate. We should not give them our strategy.
Vinit, I need to come in.
Okay,
Vinit,
Shama,
I
I'll
need
come
to
back
come
to
in,
you.
please.
Shama, I'll
They are
come back
very
to you.
competent people.
Shama, I'll come back to you. I have
Just
to
one
involve-
second. Just
I
give
have
me
to-
one
I have to
second.
rope in
Just
Mr.
one second,
Sajjanar.
please. Just one
No,
second.
Shama,
Vibha.
I'll have to come back to you.
Just
Shama,
one
I will
second,
have
please.
to come back to
Vinit,
you.
it's just.
No, Shama, I will have to come back to you.
Because
I'll
no,
have
I
to
just
rope in Mr.
why
Sajjanar.
I've said this,
Mr.
why
Sajjanar,
I'm with
Mrs.
no, one
Zafar
second.
Syed
I
has
have
already stated that
just,
we have a
just
very
one
competitive
second.
army. We have tried isolating and ostracizing Pakistan at a global level, but is it time we expose Pakistan? We actually, show the world the kind of fissures that exist between the deep state and the puppet government. That is probably a face of Pakistan that the international community is not privy to.
Yes, the international community is very well aware of the support that Pakistan lends to terrorism. And as has been said very rightly, the image and the credibility of Pakistan over the last few years is, if I can use the expression, mud. It is, they really do not have any credibility whatsoever, starting right from 2001 onwards, the manner in which they had given refuge to Osama bin Laden in their own military cantonment of Abbottabad, and so many other incidents. So I think, Pakistan is in a state of denial. In Pathankot, they said, the Prime Minister did say that there was, we will try to investigate and so on and so forth. As far as Uri is concerned, even that has not been forthcoming. So obviously we need to go out. But I want to make another point, which is that so far we have been following the policy of what is known as strategic restraint.
Right.
I think this is the time that this policy will have to be jettisoned, because there are two things. One is, as a democracy, public perceptions are very important, and the public, as I said earlier, and as the member of BJP, the spokesperson of BJP also said, I think the public here wants some action, demands some action. The other aspect of this is, which is the flip side, is that unless there is some action on the Pakistan side, they will get even further emboldened. And that is what we need to. If you give me 1 minute, I will also like to say about Balochistan.
Sure.
That, on the 15th of August, what the Honorable Prime Minister mentioned, this is to highlight the human rights violations that are taking place in Balochistan. What Madam Shama Mohammed said was that even Dr. Manmohan Singh had raised this issue. You see, the whole thing was in Sharm el-Sheikh in 2009 when the meeting had taken place. Actually, Pakistan had said that India is meddling in
The affairs of Balochistan.
And we had said, okay, we will get it investigated. The two issues are entirely different. That was a great embarrassment for
accepted us.
India. That was a great embarrassment for India at that time. Even the Congress party had also not sided with the Honorable Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh.
Right.
While here, the manner in which we are raising and the manner in which it has given great sustenance and encouragement to the Balochis, with the leader of the Baloch party, Mr. Bukti, asking for asylum in India.
Right.
I think it has given them great enthusiasm that India is standing with them, behind them. So I think these are not comparable aspects at all.
Absolutely. And Brigadier Kapoor, you know, the growing proximity of our country with the United States, do you think that has probably, you know, irked China in some way, and that is the reason it's taken a firm stand when we talk about, the way it has not done anything about calling Jaish-e-Mohammed a terrorist organization? Do you think that the proximity that we have developed with the United States is another reason that Pakistan is feeling emboldened because its relationship with China is only improving now?
You see, yes, we have come closer to USA, but at the same time, our long-term sort of partner, that is Soviet Union, we have not diluted our relations there. You would have seen today that Putin has
cancelled the deal.
Cancelled the deal.
Worth $30 billion.
And, plus the joint exercise. Joint exercise also he has called off.
Yeah.
So we are, India is, I think, balancing. We are a non-aligned state, and India is balancing between, though there is only one now superpower, but with them, yes, our proximity, that is pinching Pakistan. And China is sort of supporting them, and China is also ill at ease with our relations with the US. But at the same time, we are balancing it with Russia also. So Pakistan is sort of in a quandary, and they are actually sandwiched. And but at the same time, I'd like to just make out one more thing. That you see, whatever we keep talking about isolating diplomatically, but you would find that China will always support them. That is number one. Second thing is, if we are saying, propagating that a lot of sanctions must be imposed on them, and they
will only support Pakistan because your enemy's enemy is your friend.
Yes.
Basically.
So those sanctions are not going to make any difference, because the US cannot sort of discontinue their aid to Pakistan for obvious reasons.
Okay. All right. Shama Mohammed, coming back to you. You wanted to get back to Mr. Zafar Syed as well, but a question for you, Shama Mohammed. Should the Indian government ban its presence at the SAARC summit in Islamabad? Do you think that's a good start to isolate Pakistan diplomatically and internationally?
Yes, one should start isolating Pakistan, like with firm sanctions. Talk about Pakistan's terror. I think diplomatic relationships have to be broken. You know, we need to be firm this time. See, I'm not playing tutu meme right now. What I'm trying to highlight is, when we were going through the after 26/11, when we were doing going through the diplomatic channels, we had issues. So that time, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that Pakistan should be given back in their same language. So I'm just trying to highlight, it's easy to talk when you are in opposition, but when you are in power, there are a lot of nitty-gritties, like the general knows and the other gentleman, diplomat knows. It's not easy to give Pakistan back in its own language.
Okay, Shama, I got your point. We are running out of time. I'm running out of time. I'll just take a very brief response from Mr. Zafar Syed. Shama, we have run out of time. Then I'll end the show with a brief response from Mr. Sajjanhar. Mr. Zafar Syed, go ahead, sir. You only have 30 seconds.
Vineet, Shama, what she was talking about, Manmohan Singh had said about Balochistan. I think that she couldn't understand the difference between the two, and a former diplomat has explained it very well. Let me tell you that the government of India is working on the strategy. It's not a strategy A, B or C. It's a multi-pronged strategy, and it will be executed.
Okay.
I must tell you that even Pakistan today feels isolated, barring China. If you see that every other country has actually isolated Pakistan. And it is an achievement for government of India, but we will not stop here. We will further isolate Pakistan so that they do not have the courage to attack India anymore. And you will see the difference between what approach we are going to adopt and what approach have been adopted by Congress in last 6 decades.
Okay, Mr. Sajjanhar, are there any pitfalls of isolating a country so much? You know, let's not forget the example of North Korea.
No, let us put it this way. I'll very quickly, since you said time is limited, I'll just make two very quick points. Number one, the isolation should start with South Asia. You know, we had Mr. Ashraf Ghani, the president of Afghanistan, here, and they also are feeling the impact of terrorism emanating from Pakistan.
Right.
Bangladesh also, the Dhaka terrorist attack that took place, that was laid at the door of the inter-services intelligence. So India, Afghanistan and Bangladesh, we should, and they have already started lowering their representation in SARC bodies. So I think all of us jointly
A consortium.
should corner Pakistan in this. The second point that I want to make, respond to your question, is whether China is acting this way because India is getting too close to America. Let me put it very clearly that China has been behaving like this even before India started getting close to the United States.
Okay.
Let us even go back to 1971. There were threats that China might come and attack India when the war with Pakistan was going on.
Absolutely.
Actually, we are getting closer to the United States because our basic strategic interests are being totally overlooked, and we are facing such an inimical situation, inimical relations from China.
Absolutely.
That is the reason.
Okay, well, on that note, I'll end the show and thank all my guests for being here. Shama Mohammed, Zafar Syed, Brigadier Kapoor and Mr. Sajjanha, thank you so much for joining us. That's all we have on current issues. We'll see you tomorrow. Keep watching News World India. Thank you.